What's up guys, Corey Has No Life 13 here. Welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of Formula 1 2019 career mode. We're seeing a quick little wrap up of season 1 here, and after this we'll reveal if we've changed teams or whether we're staying with Williams. So you guys are going to find out here in just a second.
Right, welcome back. It's going to be one heck of a season, I think. To be honest, I don't think we've done the best job maintaining our performance through this regulation change, though we're going to be playing a bit of catch-up this year. We're counting on you, but you've got the whole team behind you.
So as you can see, not too much of a bombshell. We've gone with Mercedes. We look across the laptop and we can see Valtteri Bottas sitting there on the opposite side of us.
Another championship. I hope you're well rested. Well, as much as you can be for someone who has to spend half their life in the gym anyway. Let's get to it. So
Valtteri Bottas is our teammate, and that means that Lewis Hamilton has gone for another team here. So the question now begs, has he gone to Williams to replace us, or has he made a move to a different team altogether? And we're going to see some big driver moves all throughout the grid, which is some of the big burning questions that we've got to ask here, and we're going to find out the answer to in just a couple of messages. We're also going to have a full wet qualifying there, or an intermediate condition to qualifying there. Light rain forecast for the entirety of it. And we're having a look. Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel have both gone to Haas. Now that is some big news right there. And it looks like Giovinazzi is replacing Vettel in Ferrari, and Magnussen possibly replacing us down in Williams. I say possibly because I can't see it too well. It's a little bit blurry for me on my little preview screen here. So now it's time for us to go and do a little bit of tinkering. We're going to go ahead and have a look at the R&D tree to see what we can do with our 5,000 resource points here, which is just a little bit less than what we accrued by the end of the season for Williams. Looks like Mercedes were a little bit lazy in the off-season, only putting on one minor engine upgrade. Well, you see, they got a very bare tree here. It's actually amazing that they were able to beat us so badly, especially towards the end of last season, with only having such a small amount of work done to the car. So we're going to get stuck straight into it here. We're going to put on the ICE and the gearbox upgrades here for durability, because we desperately need them. We're also going to put on these two minor aerodynamic upgrades, and then we're also going to go put on all three of the available chassis upgrades that we can do here. Now we've only got a small amount of resource points left, 925, so we're going to go and have a look at what we can do to the engine. We can either do the fuel injectors, or I think that's the magnets for the ERS in the bearings. So we're probably going to get both of these on by the end of this episode, but we're just going to decide which one that we want to go for here immediately while we still got the resource points, and we're going to go with the fuel ejection efficiency. Alright, so now with all that said and done, it's time for us to start getting serious. It's time for us to head to qualifying for round number 1 of season 2 at the Australian Grand Prix.
We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix. So, could be a tasty one today then, Ants. We've got all the ingredients, that's for sure. Treacherous conditions, an ever-changing racetrack, and one or two cars just behind the pace setters who maybe, just maybe, fancy a bit of an upset after a good performance from them in free practice.
And the question has to be, of course, what is that circuit going to look like in 10 to 15 minutes from now? If you think the rain's going to get worse, then you have to be straight out when the lights go green to find whatever grip you can. But if it eases off, then you're better off waiting, saving the tyres, and going out at the perfect moment.
The other thing that comes with these conditions? Traffic. And the lack of visibility that comes from sitting in the spray. It's going to be a constant problem, and I expect to see a lot of frustrated drivers with ruined laps out there today.
So we are going to head straight into qualifying here. And with it being a wet session, we're going to go out right at the very end to try and make the most of what we can here. See, we crossed the line with about 15 seconds left on the clock. We hit the apex in turn 1 quite nicely there. Now it's just all about trying to stitch together the perfect lap here, see how far up the grid we can get. Qualifying is now complete, so we're going to be the last person to complete our lap, as I'm pretty sure that car that's behind us in the mini-map has already completed their quick lap. See, we are 4/10 up on our previous time that we set earlier on in the session. I've been starting to set a banker lap now that I'm in the top tier team to try and just set a benchmark for myself to beat later on. And as you can see, we're nearly a full second up on it here. 8/10 up on our previous time, which will definitely get us out of 17th and into qualifying 2 at the very least. We come around the penultimate corner now, and we are indeed over a second up on our previous time. As we come around the final corner, we're 1.2 tenths up and gaining. We cross the line. And that's good enough for P6 here in the first qualifying session. We have a quick little squiz at the results. As you can see, ourselves in P6 and Bottas was just about in 10th there, I think. Oh no, I clicked out of it too quickly to realise. So this is our qualifying 2 attempt now. We only ran the 1 run here in Quali 2, and we did it pretty early, because I wanted to try and save a couple of sets just for qualifying 3, so we could have 2 really good runs at it to see what we can do to find ourselves in a decent qualifying position here. As we start to head towards the fast flowing section of the circuit. We've got 1 car just up there in the distance, just very slightly. We're going to try and catch up to them, because I always drive a little bit faster, and we've got the proverbial carrot to chase. A little bit slow on the accelerator there, coming out of the high-speed chicane. But that's okay. As you can see, we are quite clearly catching up to the car in front of us here. And it's Magnussen in our old ride. So we're definitely going to be out-qualifying Magnussen at the very least. As we cross the line, and we go provisional P1 with a 1:34.3. We skip forward to the end of the session now. It was good enough for 3rd, with Valtteri Bottas sitting in 4th. Now we're on to qualifying 3, and I'm just going to be quiet so we can enjoy this lap together.
The track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres. Fantastic. You've got pole.
So as you heard there from Jeff, we got pole here for our home Grand Prix.
With qualifying
definitely
finished,
make things a lot
it's time
easier
to
for
remind
us.
ourselves of our top three: a Mercedes, Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton.
As
With
you can see,
qualifying
there's two
wrapped up, we
houses
now
of
have our grid
Hamilton and
lineup for the
Vettel.
big race tomorrow.
Absolutely
Be sure
on
to join
pace,
us then for
being
what will
second,
no doubt
being
be
third
a
and fourth
fantastic
respectively.
race.
And our teammate Valtteri Bottas buried down a little bit there in P8. Lucas Weber qualifying himself into P9.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
How are you finding things at your new team? Are you settling in? How does the poor weather change your strategy going into the race? Appreciate your time.
So now we're going to go and have a quick little look at the rivalry update here, and as you can see, I forgot to put a new rival on for the start of the season here, so we're probably going to do that very shortly, but we're currently beating Valtteri Bottas quite convincingly so far. You see we're getting 200 resource points there for the end of qualifying.
Alright, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
So we're going to go quickly check our messages, and then we're going to go put on our rival. In fact, we're going to go do the rival first, and then we're going to go check the weather. And you know what, who better than the bloke that we're replacing but Lewis Hamilton to be our rival here for our first season of racing with Mercedes. I think that is actually quite fitting indeed. So now we're going to go have a quick little check of the weather, which is going to be partly cloudy for the whole event, and it's time to get into the race for the Australian Grand Prix.
They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Mercedes in pole position then, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, and Gasly, Leclerc, Bottas, Weber, and Daniel Ricciardo, Magnussen, Norris, Alexander Albon, and Russell, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Sergio Perez, and Carlos Sainz. Hülkenberg and Devon Butler starts from the back of the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So as to be expected, no grid penalties here for the first round of
Great start to the
season.
Let's convert this pole into a win.
We're going to have a quick little look at the strategy here. And they want us to go softs to mediums with the mediums actually looking like they're going to be fairly grippy here for the end of the race. But we're going to swap the strategy around, and we want to finish on those soft tyres. So now it's time for us to get started with the Grand Prix. We're on the grid, we go to 5 red lights. And we're off and racing for the Australian Grand Prix. Looks like Vettel had a little bit of a look up our inside and got it a little bit wrong, and he's actually been gobbled up by Verstappen there just behind us. And there's a yellow flag in the background as well. We're not going to go check it out though. So now we're just going to try and concentrate on building a gap and seeing what we can do to extend this lead that we have gotten from qualifying.
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
And it looks like it's not going to work out too well for us here. Verstappen's still right there on our tail at the moment. Head through the final 2 corners for the first time in this race, and we will hold on to first for the moment. Now we skip on to lap 7. We were unchallenged for the entire 7 laps. We're coming in to make our pit stop. Verstappen with the quick lap of the Grand Prix so far.
Exit now. We're racing
Excellent
on the exit.
stop
exit,
there.
exit now.
Only 2.155 seconds though, which is a little bit concerning. Looks like Vettel came into the pits with us as well.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
And as you can see, we're coming out in a little bit of traffic here. We see our old teammate George Russell right there in front of us on track in P11. We skip forward to a little bit later in the lap and we have some contact with him. Going into what I think is about turn 8, I'm not sure. And now we're right behind Alexander Albon as we got a little bit of left front wing damage as well. So it's all about just trying to get positions here. So we skip ahead a little bit further now. Albon went into the pits on that lap. We're right up behind Lando Norris. We get a run on him on this fast, not a straight. Into the fast flowy chicane, and we get that move made on him very easily, and that has promoted us up into P3 at the moment.
Over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon. Virtual safety car deployed.
And we got virtual safety car on the track. That was completely unexpected.
Okay, slow down, slow down.
We're going to have a quick little look at the replay cameras, and Alexander Albon is out of the race. And as you can see, he was just in that little area where we got the pass on Lando. It doesn't look like he's got any smoke, so it was something hydraulic or electrical that's wrong with his car. Now we move on to the middle sector of lap 13. We have re-inherited the lead. And Kimi Raikkonen is now out of the race. We're going to go check the replay cameras for this. He's heading into turn 1. And by the looks of things, he's got a electrical or hydraulic malfunction as well.
This is your final lap.
So this is not too good for those 2 teams with their first race problems, I guess. As we are now on the final lap of the race, we're not going to get the fast lap of the Grand Prix. That's going to go to Verstappen because our tyres are pretty off at the moment. And Verstappen, to his credit, is actually not that far behind us at the moment. As you can see on the minimap, he's only just behind us there. So we can't afford to take it too easy here. Because if we make any small mistake, he'll be right on our tail in a heartbeat. As So we head through the middle sector for the final time. We have a quick little look through the menus just to make sure everything is running alright. We cut the corner quite a bit there, but we don't get a warning for it. As we head into the final sector now for the final time in this race. Around the third last corner to the penultimate corner. The drums are starting. It's starting to get serious. We come up to the checkered flag, and it's a win in our home Grand Prix. Absolutely destroying the car across the line.
Good job.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Our car has no right front wheel and front wing. Oh my god, that is just incredible. But as you see, we get the win in our home Grand Prix. Got Verstappen sitting there in P2. And Lewis Hamilton in the Haas uniform sitting there in third position.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. After today's impressive result, we have a new points leader. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Carlos Sainz would be my first choice for this race.
We get
he had
the win.
Excellent race stamina, giving him the opportunity to
Lewis
charge through the
Hamilton
ranks.
It's time to see how things are shaping up
See
in
Lucas
the
Weaver in
Constructors'
7th with
Championship.
Valtteri
Red Bull
Bottas,
take
our
over
new
as
teammate,
championship
sitting there in
leaders.
8th.
Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend
We'll
of
start to
racing.
scroll
Be
down
sure to
a
join
little
myself
bit
and Ant
further.
for more exciting Formula One action soon.
And George Russell, our old teammate, sitting in 17th, and Devon Butler, starting from last on the grid, managed to gain 2 positions because of the 2 DNFs, and he finished in 18th. We have a look at the standings here, and of course we are in the lead, but only by 6 points due to the virtue of Verstappen getting the fast lap points. And Red Bull are in the lead of the constructors at the moment, which is kind of terrible.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? Are you missing your old team? Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
I ignored that question because we did
Great.
end the race
Well,
with that
that's
crash.
everything.
We ended it as we got the checkered flag and won. We have a look at the rivalry update here, and as you can see, we're absolutely guns blazing on both our teammate and Lewis Hamilton, taking a commanding lead at the moment. So we have a look at the resource point update as well now. That's another 374 points to add to the kitty, which brings us up to 1,424. So we're definitely going to be putting on the engine upgrade that we couldn't do earlier on with the first lot of resource points that we had.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
Now we're going to have a quick little look at the emails here. Nothing really much doing there. So we're going to go have a look at the R&D tree again. And as I said, the only thing we can really do from here is to put on that one engine upgrade that we didn't do before, which is of course the bearings upgrade here. But we still got a little bit of points left over, so we might look at doing another durability upgrade while we're at it. And I'm pretty sure we're going with the turbo durability, because turbos just seem to be one of the things that kind of wear out quickly but kind of don't. It's a little bit of a fine balance there. But anyway guys, this is going to end this episode of the Formula 1 2019 Noob Career Mode. Thank you guys for coming out. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and if you don't mind, subscribe to my channel as well to see more Formula 1 2019 content, and you know, some of the other stuff that I do as well, such as iRacing or some of my real life racing videos that I film from the stands of the Perth Motorplex. The support you guys have shown me has been pretty cool, muchly appreciated. And as per normal, going to leave you with the highlights of the race as provided by F1 2019, and until the next episode, I'll see you guys next time.